Good evening, and welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, the best Jim Carrey impersonator ever, my brother Alex.
Well, alrighty then.
That's terrible.
I feel like my top lip is stuck to my gum.
Now, from a looks perspective, I think you could pull it off. From an
so?
acting perspective, I don't think you could.
If I could be one character, it would have to be Pet Detective. So I would need to let my hair grow.
No, if I
You
could
don't
be,
think so?
If I could be one Jim Carrey character, I'd want to be the Mask.
Actually, the one that lies.
Oh, that guy's hilarious. Well, no, because then he turns out to be a good guy in the end. That's no fun.
Oh yeah, you're no fun.
That was kind of boring.
Nah, yeah, I want to be the Pet Detective with the big,
Fro,
greased up John
Buffon.
Travolta hair. You know. By the way, if you haven't been following, we're doing this Against the Spread challenge between our cousin Jay and us two, and I couldn't text fast enough. Florida State plus 8.5 tonight against Duke.
So you got to give the fans a little bit of background, right? So
Here's the background. I took the first month's money.
technically you did in the first month. You're making up the rules as you go along, which I like. But so the challenge is you pick one college basketball game against the spread every day.
Right.
We did it in December.
Yep.
And Jay and I tied.
Yes.
And so you conveniently put in the ties don't get paid out rule.
I'm such a great commissioner.
And you are. And then in January, you won by 5, right? You won by quite a bit.
Yeah, like 4 games, I think.
And now we're in February.
And you started off scorching hot.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm 6-3 so far.
Yeah, 6-2-1.
6-2. Yeah, I mean, if we were putting money down, 6-2-1 would matter. But since we're just doing wins,
right? Yeah,
6-3 is good enough.
Yeah. So yeah, when I saw that line yesterday, I was about to text you guys and say, "Give me Florida State." But I said, whatever. I'll just wait. It looks like a trap.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
Right? That's
Florida State's ranked 8th. Duke's ranked 7th. It is at Duke.
Yeah.
But 8.5 seems like a lot, especially with Duke coming off of a tough game, a rivalry game with UNC.
Yeah.
It seems weird. It seemed weird. I thought it was wrong when I first saw it. I thought maybe it should have said 0.5 as opposed to 8.5.
But what do we know, right? I mean, I'm no professional bettor. So
well, that's only because you haven't tried to get people to pay you for your picks yet
that's right.
on Twitter.
If you want to buy my picks, hit me up on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1.
That's right. If you want to get my picks, since I'm hot right now, you can hit me up on Twitter at eMontana21. If you want to send us your picks, I don't know that Alex will track those as well, and you're not getting in our pool.
Of course I will.
But you can email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. See how I did that?
Smooth operator.
That's
Big
me.
Daddy Ed.
That's right. I'm a smooth operator.
So, you had I would assume you've had quite of a weekend.
Yes.
Right?
I sure have.
Judging from a few pictures and videos and, I didn't see you on my phone because that's where I watched some of the fights on my phone.
Right.
But, it looked like it was fun here in Houston.
Look, it was a fantastic 2 days.
Yeah.
So, what you're talking about, so that everyone knows, UFC 247 was here in Houston, Texas at the Toyota Center. I got tickets months ago, along with a couple of buddies and his mom. That's right. One of my buddies' mom came with us.
Cool
she
mom.
was cool as ice. Didn't care about us having a good time or whatever. She was super cool. Anyway,
She wasn't trying to block anyone.
no, she wasn't.
Okay.
She wasn't doing any of that. And so we went. We started off Friday afternoon. We went to the press conference announcing the main event for 248, which is Israel Adesanya and Yoel Romero.
Don't know none of them.
Which if you don't know anything about this won't really mean much to you. But if you follow the UFC at all, Israel Adesanya is the middleweight champion. Yoel Romero is a 40-year-old Cuban Olympic wrestler.
He's losing.
Dude.
And then he's getting deported.
And he is built like he is built like a brick house. And Adesanya's this tall, lean, lanky guy.
How old is
Super
he?
fast. 30, I think. So Adesanya, during the press conference, Adesanya starts talking about athleticism. Yoel Romero gets up, does a backflip straight into a split, and pops himself right back up.
Ouch.
I was like, God damn, 40 years old. I mean,
he might not be ready for the fight after that.
Well, he's going to be ready for the Olympic gymnastic team or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we watched that, and then right after that, they had the weigh-ins. So we had a good time there. Then from there, we went down to Hooters, which was right across the street from the Fighter Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So we went, hung out at Hooters, and saw George Masvidal. Just a ridiculous line of people. It must have been 800 people there. It was crazy. Damn. It was crazy packed.
Was that your first time going to a live weigh-in?
The weigh-in, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it was nuts. People screaming the whole time. It's great.
Yeah, you can hear it on TV.
It's a lot of fun, yeah. And the press conference was fun, too, because there's a little bit of trash talking. Right. Like, ooh, they get all excited. Then from there, we went to the Fighter Hotel, hung out at the bar with a bunch of fighters, a couple guys we know. We hung out with Dustin Poirier for a while, Juan Adams, a couple of the journalists, John Morgan, for people that follow MMA, who's really good. He's the guy that always gets the first question in at the press conferences and stuff. We were approached by a couple of working ladies wanting to know what was a good time.
Right.
And so
wow.
they're
Sin City and H-Town.
Yeah, so they're from Houston, like they live here, but they don't know where to go to have a good time. Right?
Maybe they were born here, but they work in Vegas or something.
But one of them has an apartment here.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So they start working,
right?
And my buddy is like, we're in the middle of talking to these women. They just kind of came up to us. We're sitting at a table having a beer or whatever. And my buddy leans over to me when they're not kind of looking. He goes, "They're working." And I go, "No shit." I mean, I'm a grown-ass man. I know when I'm being worked.
Put two and two together.
Yeah, I'm an accountant, bro. I can do that. I don't even need a calculator for 2 + 2.
Were they handing out cards, too?
Met John Jones, talked to him. No, they weren't. We eventually kind of weaseled our way away.
I was about to say, was met John Jones. You met a John?
No, but I think I was about to be one. These women had their way.
Johnny Ed.
And then so that was Friday night. And then Saturday, I went for 24 hours straight. No sleep.
Damn.
24 hours straight.
That's impressive.
This was my day Saturday. I woke up at 4:30 because I had to be at a half marathon here in town at 5 o'clock. I was volunteering. I was there until about 11. I came home, grabbed my son, went down to Sugarland because he was having a paintball party with a bunch of his friends. Did that until about 4 o'clock. Left here at 4 o'clock to go downtown, grabbed a bite to eat and hanging outside at the Fan Fest or whatever. The first fight was at 5:30. We were in there at 5:30.
Oh, shit.
Watched the fights until midnight. At midnight, we left. We had invites to a couple of after parties for a couple of fighters. So we went to a Little Woodrow's around town and caught an after party. We were out till 3:30 or so. Got home at... No, we were out past 3:30. We got home at 4:30.
That's a hell of a day.
24 hours nonstop.
Man, if you had a GoPro with you, you should have just...
Can you imagine?
GoPro'd all that. That would have been tight.
24 hours
Don't make it 24 hours long. No one's going to sit there.
Well, someone might want to watch. You watch it in double time, right?
Oh,
or triple time.
Yeah, you'll be moving real fast.
If you watched it in triple times, it'd still be 8 hours, which is what you could do at work since you don't actually work.
I hope my boss is not watching.
Dude, let me tell you something. The UFC puts on... It's a ridiculous event. It's my second one.
Yeah.
My first one was in San Antonio. Smaller, not a whole lot of local guys. This card had like 3 or 4 Houston fighters and big names, right? And it was, I mean, when Derek Lewis came on, he was the first fight of the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
And he's from New Orleans, but he lives here in Houston. He did a lot during the hurricane, during Harvey a few years ago. Super cool dude. His Instagram, if you don't follow him on Instagram. He is hilarious with the memes and whatnot.
Is that the dude that said his balls were hot?
Yes.
Why is that the only thing I remember? Because I only remember his balls.
Because it's hilarious. I mean, they just about blew the roof off that place when he walked in.
Huh.
I mean, it was just, it's such a good production. It's such a well done, well orchestrated event. You're in the arena and you're getting a fight every half. They start them kind of like on the half hour. And, you know, if there's a quick knockout, they start them a little bit earlier. If they go all 3 rounds, it probably takes a little bit more. It takes 35 minutes. They did a Kobe Bryant tribute beforehand.
Oh, nice.
Which is really, really well done. It's an incredible event.
Huh.
We had decent seats. We were in... so when the fighters come out, we were right above that tunnel, but off to the side a little bit so we could see them kind of come in.
Nice.
Which is really cool. They were coming in from the opposite side, all of them, and then when after the fight, they came out through our side. But for the co-main event and the main event, the champions came out of our side. So we got to see Valentina Shevchenko and John Jones up close as they were walking out. And there were all kinds of fighters there, other fighters, right, that weren't on the card. Anthony Pettis was there, Kamaru Usman was there, Jared Cannonier was there. I mean, there was a whole bunch of people. It was a good time.
That's pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
I wonder if a lot of other fighters in boxing do the same, right? Like, do they go... Like, you see a few of them, but I feel like in UFC, that whole front row is just...
Oh, it's full of fighters,
filled with fighters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think boxing is that much.
I don't think... You know, I don't know any boxers, but... Like I mentioned earlier, I was hanging out at the Fighter Hotel, and you know, I was explaining this to someone at work. It's like, it's not like I'm a fanboy, right?
Right.
But like hanging out with them, it's cool because they're just dudes.
Right. They're humans.
But I mean, but they don't like, even John Jones. Like, I got a selfie with John Jones and a group of people, right? They're just cool as can be, you know. Like so people ask me, it's like, oh, you know, you're a fanboy. I'm like, no, it's like hanging out with the guys, right? Because we're talking about fights, but yeah, we're talking about other sports. We're talking about cars. We're talking about all kinds of motorcycles, all kinds of crazy shit.
And I'm sure the fighters don't want to sit there and just talk fights either, right?
Yeah,
they probably want to talk other shit too.
Well, look, we had Juan Adams on the show before,
right?
And I don't know what people have said to you about people that have talked to me about him. They're like, wow, he's a smart guy. And I'm like, yeah, he's college educated. Just because he fights and he's 6'6" or 6'5", 290 pounds just walking around, doesn't mean he's some kind of knuckle dragger. You know, he's got a college degree from a good university. He's a smart guy, worked in IT before he got into fighting full time. I mean, he's just a normal guy, and he's a dude. And so it's a ton of fun to just kind of hang out with those guys, have a beer, and shoot the shit about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
I think that's the thing fans forget sometimes, right? These athletes, fighters, you know, boxers, whatever. I mean, they're regular people at the end of the day, you know. This is just happens to be their profession, and you know. That's
why, yeah, I get irritated when I see people on Twitter trash talk these fighters, and it's like.
Some deserve it though, because they get like Kevin Durant, right? Like, he gets on Twitter and he barks back. So I mean, whatever. If he's gonna bark back, then you know.
Yeah, but my problem is specifically with fighters when they call them, you know, oh, you're a coward, or you know, you suck, you can't fight. Look, all of these guys in the UFC, and I don't pretend to understand it, but I mean, just stop and think about this. You're a grown man. You're going to fight another grown man in a cage in your underwear in front of 17,000 people.
Well, not
that
only... That
takes courage. I don't give a fuck what you do in the fight.
Not only that, you wouldn't say it to the fighter in his face.
That's right.
Right. I mean,
that's absolutely
we're hiding behind this
keyboard,
8-inch phone, right?
Yeah.
Right, a keyboard. So it's like I to a boxer fighter, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't.
For what?
A story came out. It came out a few weeks ago, but it kind of got rehashed today on an MMA show that I listened to. A guy was going into the gym where Derek Lewis trains, and he was talking shit about he wanted to fight some guys. So he wanted to get a fight. He was going to kick everyone's ass because he's trying to get into the UFC, right? But he doesn't have any fight experience. Like, he's never fought.
Right.
But he was going there, to the gym, and he thought he could fight, so he was gonna, and he was disrespecting the coaches and whatnot. And Derek Lewis heard about the guy, and so one day, Derek Lewis happens to go into the gym when that guy's there. And that guy's like, who's that guy? And the other people tell him, hey, that's Derek Lewis. He's in the UFC. He fought for the championship, blah, blah, blah. He's like, fuck that guy. He goes, I can knock that guy out.
Boy.
And so when it got back to Derek Lewis heard about it. He's still in the gym. Derek Lewis went up to his coach and said, I'll spar with him. And the guy's like, yeah, I'll fight that guy. I'll spar with him. He's thinking he's going to knock Derek Lewis out in training.
But he doesn't know that's Derek Lewis.
Well, he's been told, but he doesn't think he's shit because he can fight,
right?
So Derek Lewis says to his coach, has he signed the waiver? The coach says, yeah. He goes, all right, I'll get in there with him. Proceeds to beat the crap out of him for 60 seconds. The guy hasn't been back since.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis apologized to his coach for losing a customer.
Well, I mean, there's a thing between, there's a difference between being confident and just plain dumb.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
I mean, you and I have stood next to Juan, who's a heavyweight like Derek Lewis. I mean, if you're a normal dude, you ain't messing with that guy.
No, fuck no.
I mean, if you run into that dude at the bar and you're just walking with your head down looking at your phone and you bump into him, you say sorry and get the fuck out of the way.
Or buy him a drink.
Or buy him a shot.
Can I just pay your whole bill for the night?
I'm sorry. Would you like a shot of Jägermeister?
Yes.
Anyway, so the fights were awesome.
Cool.
There is some controversy, though, about the main event. John Jones and Dominic Reyes. Who did you think won the fight?
What was it, 4-1? It was 4-1, right?
One judge had it 4-1 for John Jones.
Okay.
One judge had it 3-2 for Reyes, and one judge had it 3-2 for Jones.
All right, two things. This kid Ray, I'm not a UFC. I don't watch UFC like you do.
Right.
Jones fought a good fight, but this kid Reyes, I think, stood his ground. He was getting back down. I mean, Jones was walking him back, but I mean, he kept throwing shots in there that really stopped Jones from, grabbing him until like the fourth round, third or fourth round. That's really when Jones started to grab him and try to go for the takedown, because I think he saw he couldn't really hit him with a clean shot. So I mean, that kid Reyes fought really good. It was man. I'm leaning draw on that one. And I know people talk about championship rounds, but that's one of the things I don't like, because that's an unwritten rule. There is no championship rounds. They're all championships rounds because it's a championship match. So I don't agree too much with, he did control the fourth and fifth round. Jones did, I think. But, I mean, I think it was a lot closer than
I thought it was... I mean, I thought it was 3-2 either way, and to me the question is the third round, right? To me, the first round is clearly Reyes. The second round is also pretty clearly Reyes. The third round is really difficult. The fourth round, you can see Jones really kind of start to step on the gas and really kind of go after him. And in the fifth round again, it looked like Reyes was starting to get tired. So everything hinges on the third round. Do I have a problem with the third round going to Jones? No, I don't. Do I have a problem with the third round going to Reyes? No, I don't. So that being said, I think it was 48-47, however you want to slice it. and I don't think Reyes got robbed. I don't think Jones would have gotten robbed. If it had gone the other way, I'd say the same thing. It's kind of like the replay in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
There's not enough to change.
Now, if they all would have voted 4-1, then I mean that's.
I don't see 4-1.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I don't see how. I don't see how you give Jones the second round, which you would have to do, which is what one judge did in order for him to end up 4-1 up. In fact, at the time, right after I watched it, they said 48-47 Reyes, 48-47 Jones. And then when they said 49-46, I said, oh shit, we got a new champion. Because I thought it was more likely that if you were going to give 4 rounds, I thought it was more likely to go Reyes' way than Jones. It's a razor close fight. It just...
I mean, when you see the highlights, it's about the same amount of shots for both. Like the highlight reel for both fighters are very equal as far as the type of shots that they hit each other with, and they didn't skid each other. They were like dead on some of these shots. I mean, Reyes, I don't know anything about him, but I mean he looked like a pretty tough opponent for Jones that Saturday night.
And really, he looks like the future, right? I mean Jones is. He's not that much younger than Jones, but he is younger than Jones, and Jones has been doing it for a long time. And there's also some talk of Jones going up to heavyweight. And so, if that's the case, I mean, Reyes looks like the real deal. And I really hope the UFC does not make an immediate rematch. I hope they give both guys a different fight.
And then come back?
And then come back for that rematch. I think immediate rematches are... depending on the circumstance, right? I think when it's close like this and you have one guy that's young and probably benefited a lot from the experience, I want him now to use that experience against somebody else and prove that he is indeed worthy of another shot. And for Jones, Jones wants to fight as many different people as possible, so I think it works out well either way. So I'm not a huge fan of an immediate rematch here. I think we're going to get a better fight if Reyes gets one more fight under his belt, uses the experience that he just went through, and because if they go into an immediate rematch, I feel like Jones's knowledge and what he learned from being in there will.
I agree with that
too much.
I agree with that for the most part. From a fighter's perspective, though, you don't know if you're ever gonna get that chance again, right? Because you go have another fight, and let's say you have a freak injury or whatever, and then you get caught, and then you get caught, right?
I mean,
then
these guys are swinging haymakers with 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah,
anyone can make a 2-second mistake and get knocked out cold.
Yeah.
So, I understand it from your perspective. And, Dominic Reyes, to his credit, he says, I won that fight, so I want to run it back. I can't say that I blame him. I don't agree with running it back immediately, but, I'm also not...
You're not fighting.
I'm not fighting, no.
You didn't just get robbed.
Yeah.
What most people think.
He feels he got robbed. Some of the interesting stuff that came out of UFC 247... during one of the fights, there were a lot of questionable decisions and questionable scoring. But during one of the fights between Andrea Lee and Lauren Murphy, they caught the judge and the commissioner on their phone during the fight.
During the actual round?
Not between rounds. During the fight, the clock was ticking, they were punching each other, stuff was happening, and they were on their phone.
Well, I mean, shit happens, and we have to look at our phone, too, while we're doing this podcast at times, important shit.
That's related to our work.
I mean, maybe they were checking on, Were
they looking at their ESPN app, trying to get a replay of shot?
I mean, could be, man. Shit goes up fast on Twitter nowadays.
It's embarrassing.
Man. That's not a good look.
No, not at all. And the worst
part
is...
how are you going to fairly judge the fight, right?
Yeah, you got to watch it.
That's your job, is to watch the fight.
I know. and it's so poorly done on their part. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but fighters, generally, the way their contracts work is they get paid show money and win money. So you're going into a fight, and you get paid 50 to show and 50 to win.
Mm-hmm.
No one goes in there thinking they're going to lose, right?
Right.
So they go in there thinking, I'm going to get me 100 G's.
Yeah.
And so when they lose, it feels like someone's taking their 50 G's. And in this case, the person who's taking it is not the opponent,
Right.
but it's some schlep who's like playing Candy Crush on his phone during the fight. I mean, what the fuck?
People still play Candy Crush?
Guilty.
Oh, God.
Dude, I'm up to level like 3,416 or something like that. I've been playing the game for like 7 years.
You need a new hobby.
Dude, it is a great wake me up in the morning. Like, it gets my brain going.
I can find 10,000 other things that could get me going in the morning.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
One is turning over to my wife and saying, good morning.
Okay, good. It's a family show. Yeah, look, but this is what works for me.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good time and you,
great.
you partied like a rock star. There might be an uncensored show that we may, have to put out there because it doesn't want to say everything. But I'm glad.
I told you about the working girl. That was as crazy as it got.
That's about as exotic as it gets.
That was as exotic as it gets.
Well, no, I'm glad you had a good time, bro.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a great time. The UFC does an unbelievable job.
So, UFC, XLF.
You're the only person I know who can't spell XFL.
XLF.
English is hard. Did you watch it?
I don't even know how to spell it. How am I going to find it on my TV guide?
You kept looking for XLF and couldn't find it?
Couldn't find it.
No. I actually watched some of it.
Yeah, I watched 2 commercial breaks maybe. I don't miss the NFL that much yet to have to, get my fix of more football. You know what I mean?
Apparently ratings were pretty good.
I thought they would be because I don't think it was I don't think this time around it's gimmicky.
Do you know what the rule differences are? Right, there's the kickoff.
The kickoff, I'm pro that.
I like that.
Matter of fact,
touchbacks.
If the NFL is trying to be safe, that's actually not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the kickoff. It's something different too, right? The extra point thing.
How does the extra point thing work? I never did figure that out.
Well, so on the 2-yard line is 1 point, 5-yard line is 2 points, and I think 10-yard line you get 3 points. 3 points.
Like a field goal.
Like a field goal. Yes. There are no extra points.
What do you mean there are no extra points?
There's no kicking for an extra point.
No, you run a play.
You run a
from
play.
The 2, 5,
yes,
or 10.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Like
I'm sorry. Yeah,
that.
You run a play.
Let's weed out those kickers, bro.
And oh man, they're gonna be mad. The kickers of the world. Can you name them all?
Why not just have a quarterback throw a lob from the 50 for the kickoff?
The kickoff or the extra point?
No, to start the kickoff.
To start the kickoff?
To start the game, yeah. Instead of a kickoff, have a throw off.
Have a throw off? That'd be different.
Have a quarterback throw it from the 50.
Yeah, but then what happens if he hurts his arm? Then he can't. Then you gotta get
those guys
backup.
Can sling it.
Backup
put
Joe
the backup
Schmo.
in to throw it.
Yeah, but he's the backup. He can't throw that far.
Sure he can. Just because he's the backup doesn't mean he doesn't have a good arm.
The XFL had its first firing.
They're already firing people?
They already fired people. Pepper Johnson got fired as a defensive coordinator. Apparently he was on the hot seat and nobody knew.
How many games are they playing, do you know?
I don't know, but the Dragons are like 25-1. They're like the long shot.
25. There's only 8 teams.
Yeah, I know.
25-1 is pretty far out there.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I can't get into it. I mean, I wish I could, but I don't know.
Like I said, I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I watched probably what amounted to maybe a half of football between all the games, just catching it in different spots or whatever when I was out and about. It doesn't look terribly subpar, right?
No.
But
I think it's
all the stupid names, the Vipers and the Defenders and the Guardians. It's like I just can't get into it. Thank goodness that everyone is spelled correctly. Because if it was like Little League Baseball and you have the freaking ballers walking around with a Z on the end, I would lose my mind. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it in Little League, let alone
Right.
with grown men, right?
Yeah.
That would just drive me insane.
I think this league will make a good stepping stone for those few players that dream to make it to the NFL. You know.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure that's what every single one of them is doing out there. And if the XFL can kind of partner with the NFL to kind of become a bit of a feeder system, then I think, maybe it will survive. I don't know.
So
do they get to put cool names on the back of their jerseys like he hate me?
No, he hate me's on. No, I haven't seen one. Now, do you know that these players have 2-year deals and they cannot, like they sign up for 2 years. You're playing in the XFL for 2 years. They're all 2-year deals.
So if an NFL team wants them,
can't do it. I think a player wanted to. I heard it real quick. I was halfway paying attention on the radio or not, but someone tried to get off or go try out for an NFL team or some shit like that, and Vince McMahon was like, "Nah, no chance." He cued the music.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he walks around with the little radio, and as soon as somebody asks him that question,
no chance.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah,
it surprises me that players would want to do it then, because
guaranteed
I'm sure
money.
all of those. Yeah, but is it guaranteed?
Well,
or is it
it's a guarantee that he can't.
Can he be traded?
Traded what within the XFL?
Yeah, within the XFL.
That I don't know.
Is it a league contract or a team contract?
You're asking me way too many questions about this league.
And here's the other thing, right? Like, is it okay? It's guaranteed money. I see what you're saying, but what happens if they get hurt? Because do they have a collective bargaining agreement or a players union? This is weird.
I mean, I'm sure this all that works in favor of Vince McMahon.
It's gotta be a league contract. Because none of those teams.
Well,
Doesn't Vince McMahon own all of it?
Well, yeah, it's a league. Well, either way, it's a contract. Doesn't matter if it's league or not.
No, but I'm saying if it was a team contract, right? Like if they had 8 owners in a league and Vince McMahon was the commissioner,
right? Wow.
They had to have a Royal Rumble to figure out who got the first draft pick.
That'd be fucking awesome,
right? Yeah. So, like, if there were individual owners, then the contract would be with the team. And then they could trade them within the league.
You are correct. The contract is with the league, not
XFL.
the team. Right.
Bizarre.
So, but I don't know. I guess that's a way of keeping it going for 2 years, right? Kind of cementing. Hey, this league's going to be around.
We're
going to
be here, damn
That's
it.
Right. So
this
if wrestling ever folds, he's got the XFL.
I wonder if those guys. I wonder if they can break their contract to go into the WWE since it's a sister company.
That's a good question. I wonder if we'll see a lineman do that, right?
A lineman? A kicker?
Kicker?
Yeah, if he bulks up a little bit.
Nah, I don't want to see another 1-2-3 kid. X-Pac.
Dude, that guy made a living at 170 pounds.
He sure did. He was a pretty good fucking wrestler. I mean, it's all show, right? Entertainment. Right. He put on a show.
They never put him in with Andre the Giant or anything like that.
No.
They didn't put him in with like a real muscular Hulk Hogan.
No, but he gave Razor Ramon his first win was against Razor Ramon on Monday Night Raw.
God, that show was so good.
Wrestling was so good back then.
It was. I still watch it every now and then when
I just
don't follow the storyline.
They suck now, but I had the WWE Network at one time. And I binge watched like a lot of the old pay-per-views.
Nice.
And then I just, I quit the trial or whatever, the
trial
membership.
was over.
Yeah, because I mean, you watched it all and now it sucks. So it's like it really took me back, man.
You know the best part of wrestling?
It's real.
Those ice cream bars.
Oh, fuck
Do you remember those?
Yes.
With chocolate on one side and like the cookie on the other side, ice cream in the middle.
Vanilla ice cream in the middle, yes.
Oh my God.
Mom used to go to the warehouse in Brooklyn on McDonald Avenue.
Yeah.
Right? By Grandma's house. And they used to come 24?
Pack of 24?
Yeah, pack of 24. She used to get that, strawberry shortcake, and
Who cares about some strawberry shortcake?
No, yeah, I know, but it was
WWE stars.
It was a fucking ice cream warehouse,
those
bro.
Those are so good.
It was like the Costco of ice creams, man. Right?
I'm an ice creamaholic, bro.
Yeah, those were classic.
That's like the hardest thing for me to give up.
Yeah, well. And they used to bring a little trading card in there too.
That's right.
Yeah, it was pretty
cool. They should bring that shit back.
And the cookie had the wrestler,
whatever,
stamped spray painted on there or whatever.
You're eating spray.
Sharpie.
That's probably why they stopped making them, because they were spray painting.
Maybe it was a Sharpie.
Or a Sharpie. Kids were dropping dead. Yeah. Somehow we didn't. we just survived. Got lucky. However, we can't spell XFL.
Speak for yourself.
You're the one that can't spell it.
What else did we have this week? Besides football ending and football started at the same time.
We can talk about some serious stuff. Some MLB.
Well,
where do you want to start? What do you want to start with there?
Did you see these proposed new rules or suggestions, ideas
for the postseason?
Yeah, like I don't know how.
So explain it to people before we give our.
Well, I mean, this just came out like minutes before me coming over here, but
I'm sure you've already
one of the
become an expert on it.
Yeah, of course, like everything else, right? So from Fox Sports MLB at MLB on Fox tweet. MLB reportedly planning to change postseason format from 5 to 7 teams per league.
Okay.
Wild card game would go away.
Thank goodness.
I'm in favor of that. First round would become best 2 out of 3. Top seed in each league gets a bye, and teams with best records would pick their opponents.
Out of the 3 that win the best of 3 series.
I guess so. I mean,
right, because you'd have one team getting a bye, and then the other 6 teams would play each other.
Right.
Right. And so there would be 3 winners from there, plus the one that got the bye would make 4, which would be the division series.
Yes, that sounds logical. That's not explaining that.
That sounds like more baseball, doesn't it?
Or right, maybe less baseball.
Well, no, because
regular season.
No, the regular season would be the same. They're not changing the regular season, are they?
Well, they don't say here, but I would imagine that they cut back on regular season games. Just my assumption.
I can't imagine they would. So it would be more games, because right now you have the wild card game, which is 1 game,
right?
And then you have a league semifinal, let's call it 5 games, and then the league championship series, which is 7.
Right.
So it's 1, 5, and 7. This way, it would be, you'd get, one team wouldn't, but the other 6 teams would play 3, best of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then they would go into 5, and then the league championship series at 7.
Right,
so
so
basically that first, the World Series is the same, but I'm just saying, so that first round, instead of being 1 game, it would be 3 games, and it would be 3 times over.
Yeah,
so it'd be a lot more baseball.
Right, and that's why.
But it'd only be 2 extra games in terms of, from beginning to end.
Right, but that's why I say end the World Series, because I don't know that these players want to be playing all the way to like Christmas time. I mean, it's. I would imagine if this were to go through, that they would cut back the season to like 150 games. Is what I would assume.
Yeah, but you're only really adding 2 games.
Yeah, but I mean, it's.
Right, but I mean?
Right, but then you have days
maybe
off.
Maybe they're going to cut it to 160.
And then you have days off in between, right? So it's like
it prolongs. No days off. Why do you need a day after playing 3 games? You play 3-game series all.
Well, I mean, but sports.
You play that all year long,
right? But I mean, you know, sports, man. They like to stretch shit out, man. It's all about the money.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think they're going to cut regular season games.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
because if you think about it, you're really only adding 2 days to the process, maybe 3.
I'm against all this shit. I don't like it.
You mean the playoffs in general, or baseball?
Yeah, do away with the playoffs. 162 games should be enough to decide. Put everybody in one big standings.
There you go.
No, yeah, I mean, just leave it alone. I mean, I really think Rob Manfred is a poor commissioner, and it's just leave it alone. When we think about the integrity of the game, I think we shouldn't look past Rob Manfred. just everything that's been going on, we shouldn't look past Rob Manfred. And this doesn't make any sense to me. Just adding more teams, you know?
Yeah, they're trying to make the playoffs more exciting. I think they should just take... quite frankly, I think they should go back to the old way. Have 2 divisions, top 2 from each division, that's it.
I'm not opposed to that, but I like giving... well, yeah, right, because either way... But there's more teams with more of a chance with the 3 divisions, right? So...
Well, yeah, because I'm proposing to cut it. Well, but there's only one less team in my scenario than we have right now.
Right, but
right now they have 5, and I'm saying go back to 4.
Right, but I mean 5 is that's just an extra team.
I know, but they put them in that one bullshit game.
Oh, now you agree it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You hear that? It's bullshit.
It's the playoffs, but yeah, it's not. I don't see.
It's a bullshit.
I don't see what the point is.
Baseball is either trying to. Well, they're not trying, right? They're trying. They're attempting to attract an audience, and I feel like they're slowly pushing away the audience that they already have.
And they're not getting any new.
And they're not really getting anything new, you know. And it's just. I
don't see that adding more teams makes that much of a difference.
Now, what about 6 teams from each league,
right?
Make the playoffs, and you have a round robin, and you play every team twice.
So you would play 10 games.
10 games, and then
the winner of each one goes straight to the World Series, not to an LCS.
Yeah, sure.
So
what would be kind of like College World Series, right?
Yeah.
Don't they do that?
No, they're in brackets.
Okay, my bad.
So let's think about that. 10. So it'd be 10 games. Right now we have 1, 5, 7. So right now we have 13 games.
Mm-hmm.
That would be 10 games for each team. So it'd be 30 games total. It'd be more baseball.
More baseball,
it'd
not
more
for
baseball, but not more team. Well, one more team.
Yeah.
You know, I would be opposed to that.
And then
kind of have like a mini
World
division.
Classic. Kind of like a World Classic.
Yeah, I like that.
And here's another thing. The DH. What do you think about the DH? Me,
get rid of it.
Get rid of it or
completely.
or implement it in both leagues. I'm really in between. I'm in between. I don't mind either way, but it should be even. At least make it even.
Yeah, no,
at least make it even.
My preference is no DH.
Me too.
My second preference
is
no DH, and my third preference is to keep it as is.
Is that because of?
DH. I hate.
Is that because you're a National League guy?
Yeah, I think so. But look, we don't. In the NBA, if you get fouled, you don't get to pull some guy off the bench to shoot your free throws, right?
Right.
Shaquille got fouled, and he took his 43% ass to the line every time.
And he shot bricks for a living.
That's right. I just don't understand it.
And look, I'm with you.
The only people that have a problem with it is the Players Union. So if the Players Union has a problem with it, here's how you get around it. Add one player to the roster. And they'll say, okay, we have less players. We have 15 less players making gargantuan contracts, but now we've added 30 players to the rosters.
But don't they have 26 now?
No, 25.
I think that's changed. It's 26.
Okay, then put it to 27. I don't give a shit. Give them.
No, I'm serious though. I think it went up to 26.
Right. Okay, that's fine. But my point is add one player.
Okay.
So yeah, you have 15 guys that now are not losing their jobs, but their roles get diminished. But you've got 15 more guys on rosters, which would make the Players Union happy.
I'm not really bothered by the DH. Just make it an even playing field. Why is it different in the National League than in the just make it all it's.
And quite frankly, I think they're closer to making it all DH than they are to doing away with the I think if they go one way to make it uniform, they're going to go to the DH, not to no DH.
I agree.
Which I think is terrible.
Which kind of
sucks. Which is why I want them to leave it the way it is, because I don't want the DH.
Which kind of sucks because I feel like the National League has some, and this is probably in part because they bat a little more, but they got some pretty decent hitters in the National League. I mean, for pitchers that
Yeah.
that bat 3 times every 5 games.
But also, I think it makes the game more interesting. You're at the bottom of the lineup. You get a guy on. It's a close game. You bunt. The more sacrifices. I think that's good. If you got to squeeze out a run against Jacob deGrom, yeah, I like taking that 9-hole hitter or bunting the guy from second to third.
Yeah.
And
Now that I think about it, there's no way they go away from the DH because I mean more home runs is more exciting, right? So you have your
there's the offensive numbers which they like more than the pitching numbers,
right?
And there's also and again you're taking 15 guys and basically giving them now a diminished role, which means a diminished contract,
right?
And MLB likes the inflated statistics or the higher statistics, offensive statistics, and the players union likes bigger contracts for their players, so that's why there's no change.
Say that fast 10 times. Offensive statistics. Go.
No, yeah, I stuttered over it like 3 times right now. So no, I am not going to.
So speaking of, so these rules, I'm not all for it. At the end of the day, are you?
The playoff one.
The playoff one. Are you with it? Without it?
It doesn't do much for me.
No.
I don't like the idea of you picking your teams.
Yeah,
this isn't. We're not playing on a playground.
Right. This is not a MLB The Show on PlayStation 4.
Ooh, let me be no.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop with the picking. Look, the only picking you should do is heads or tails for the kickoff of a football game.
I was gonna say nose or ass, but hey, or wedgie.
And quite frankly, I think they should do away with the coin toss unless the game's at a neutral site. If you're the home team, it's your choice. How about that? It's called home field advantage. Why do we have to have a coin toss?
Yeah. I don't mind that.
And you would still have your bet during the Super Bowl for heads or tails.
Your prop bet.
That's right. Your
one
prop
of
bet.
225 prop bets.
338 on a website.
Oh, was that?
I saw a website that had 338 prop bets.
Did you see that sheet I texted you?
Oh yeah.
I mean, holy shit.
It's enough to make you dizzy.
Yeah. Speaking of diminished roles and contract, I'm gonna mess up his name because I don't remember. Mike Bolsinger.
Yeah.
The guy from Toronto is welcome to America, people. Welcome to America. Is suing the Houston Astros because when he pitched for the Blue Jays, he got lit up.
Yeah, like a Christmas tree.
I mean, I'd never heard of this guy, so I'm assuming he was really good.
No, he wasn't. But he got sent to the minors after that and hasn't made it back. Oh, he's trying to get on the roster now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't fucking blame the guy. If that game was a result of him getting sent down and all these shenanigans were going on, I don't know if it's something that I would have done, but I don't blame the guy.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever. I
kind of don't blame him either, but I also don't see the point because did he ever pitch against a guy who was suspended for PEDs? Did that guy ever get a hit off of him? Is he going to sue MLB for that? I mean, first of all, it's not going to work because if it does, it's going to open up a Pandora's box. Every pitcher that ever gave up a home run to Barry Bonds is going to come out of the woodwork. Every hitter who was ever struck out by Roger Clemens is going to come out of the woodwork. Yeah. I mean, it's dumb. I mean... Yeah. And
if he wins...
he's going to win. If he wins...
You think he's going to win?
No. Oh. If he wins, the judge is going to give him $1.
Go away.
Judge is going to go, yeah, you're right. You win. Here's your punitive damages. $1. I just think it's dumb. Like, all of this crying about the Astros is just... It's ridiculous. Look, they cheated. Move on. The Dodgers crying about how they should be they should be awarded the 2017 World Series.
They took it to the council, bro.
Hey, man, what makes you think you would have beat the Yankees that year? Who lost in the ALCS?
They wouldn't have made it. They got cheated.
I mean, like, how do you know? Right?
Tanaka coming out.
How do you know? I mean, it's just all of this just seems like a bunch of crying over spilled milk, and they're not going to change anything. First of all, second of all, it's dumb. Listen, whether they cheated or not, I hate to say this, whether they cheated or not, you had your chance. And you lost. It's okay.
Yeah, but they're saying that the Astros cheated on the road too, like in LA.
Have you seen the article in the Wall Street Journal about that?
I have not. No,
dude.
I haven't read it, so I went off headline. Is what I'm going off of.
Dude, let me tell you something.
They went all out.
The Astros got off light because they cheated everywhere. And the other thing.
Okay, hold on. So by you saying that, how do you think these players feel? Right? It is a big deal. I mean, you say they're crying over spilled milk, but I mean, to some of these players, this is, they get bonuses for winning in the World Series and stuff like that. And I agree, this is getting blown way out of proportion. I understand that, but these fuckers cheated, and they were successful at it. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and this is kind of where I think the conversation ends. And people are not going to like this. You're not going to like this, but this is the God's honest truth. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. The Astros got caught, but the Astros aren't the only one.
They're not.
Right?
They're not.
The Dodgers cheated somehow, somewhere.
Probably.
That Toronto pitcher cheated somewhere.
Probably.
Everybody is always trying to push the limit. And sometimes they go over the limit. And I don't believe that everyone is innocent and the Astros are the Astros and the Red Sox are the only ones. The Yankees and Red Sox in 17 that got fined, and the Astros in 17 and 18, and the Red Sox in 18. Those are the only 4 instances of teams cheating like this. I don't believe it. I believe there's more out there. The Astros got caught. Maybe the Astros were the most egregious, but
I agree with you. I don't believe that either. I believe that there are other teams. But this is where I have a problem with Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred. They turn their heads when it's convenient for them. They have been knowing that the Astros have been doing this since 2017.
2016, actually.
16?
There's some rumblings that it happened in 16 as well. Not as advanced as it got in 17.
So this guy, the commissioner, sent memos to everybody. Right?
Right, gave him a chance to clean it up.
So, and then the Astros kept doing it.
Right. And
so
eventually they got
I'm going to assume that when my boss, the president of my company that I work for, sends a memo saying you are no longer allowed to be on your phone at your desk or on the internet during company time, okay, I'm going to abide by those rules because I need a job, right? And I'm going to assume that my coworkers are doing the same thing because they're thinking like me, right? They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to be punished.
No one wants to get fired.
Right. So after that, it's up to me. It's up to the employees to abide by those rules. And I think it's pretty clear that although, yes, I believe that there are other teams, we know of 2 for sure that did not abide by those rules.
Right.
And rightfully so, they got caught because they were doing wrong.
They got punished.
Now, let me ask you this. Barry Bonds. Do you think Barry Bonds took steroids? Honestly.
Well, he admitted he has.
But he never failed the test.
But he says he unknowingly took steroids.
Okay. So he took steroids. I think we can all agree.
Right.
Barry Bonds, without... He took steroids.
Right.
He took the needle in the ass.
Right.
The cream.
Yeah, he took the cream.
The cream. You know what I'm saying?
God,
so
I didn't take that in the ass.
Ooh, put a little ice cube on that one. No, but I mean, my point is, yes, the players are crying over spilled milk, spilled milk, whatever, but I think it's deservingly so that the Astros get talked about like this. That it's not the end of the world, but I mean, they got told to not do this, and then they are putting buzzers on their chest and their nipples, and what the fuck?
Well, no, look, I'm not saying. I'm not quite sure what you think I'm saying, but I'm not saying that the Astros should get off scot-free. I just think that all this crying about suing them for their World Series bonus and wanting the World Series awarded to you, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not with that.
You're making an assumption. Look, this guy from Toronto, I hate to say this, but hey, dude, that outing against the Astros, that was your last one. But it wasn't your only one. And your stats in those 2 months that you were on the MLB roster were not good. So unless you can prove to me that every single team was cheating, you didn't get sent down because of that outing. You got sent down because of your body of work.
Right.
It happened right after that outing. Okay, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But you know what? You weren't pitching well. If it didn't happen there, it probably would have happened on the next one. Same thing with the Dodgers. Yeah, you made it to the World Series. But if the Astros didn't make it, how do you know you would have beat the Yankees? The Yankees were freaking amazing that year. They were really good.
Let me ask you, do you think if a bigger name, which of course a bigger name wouldn't get sent down probably, right? But a bigger name would have his stats affected and contract would take a hit the next year. Do you think if a big name came out, let's say
let's play this out. So let's say that the Astros played the Mets that year. I don't know if they did or not, but let's just say.
I want those wins.
And Familia tried to close out 2 games in that series.
Right.
And he blew the save both times.
Right.
He ended the season with 29 saves. And he had a clause in his contract that if he got to 30 saves, he got $1 million.
Right.
That's a lawsuit I might consider.
Right.
I might listen to that. But this guy, I'm sorry. Like, my heart goes out to him. I understand that he's upset. But you weren't pitching well up until then. You didn't miss out on a bonus because of that one game. You didn't get sent down to the minors because of that one game. So to your point, if it was a big name like Familia, right, it's one loss. It wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things unless it was a bonus thing like that.
Right.
But
yeah,
I just find it hard to
I don't
carry this to the nth degree. It's not like they were using. Look, if they were using corked bats and every single time they hit the ball they were hitting home runs and they were winning games 23-7 every night and they were winning 128 games, okay, then yeah, maybe we erase them from the record book completely and rejigger stuff, right? Maybe then there is a lawsuit to be had for the guys that played the Astros, for the pitchers that faced the Astros, 4 times that year. But I mean, we're talking about sign stealing, and while I understand that it is an advantage, it ain't that big of an advantage, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's an advantage.
It's an advantage, but it's not that. Look, if Jacob deGrom is on the mound, if Clayton Kershaw in his heyday was on the mound, if Garrett Cole was on the mound, I bet you those guys, especially Kershaw in his heyday, if they told you, Mariano Rivera told people what he was going to throw because all he ever threw was that cutter. That guy made a living for 17 years in the major leagues,
right?
Throwing a pitch that everyone knew what was coming.
Right, but
so
I mean,
it's an advantage, but let's not make it out to be.
Well, it is a big advantage because when you see the comparison from road and home stats, it's a big difference. So
not really.
Yeah, it is.
Have you broken them down?
I don't need to break them down. I'm looking at numbers. It's very simple. One's way higher than the other one.
I broke down their hitting statistics from 17. There's not that much of a difference between home and road for the Astros.
I don't know.
There really isn't. So,
I mean, either way.
So maybe they won more games at home because they had last licks, which helps, right? And maybe they just pitched better at home.
I don't know.
Maybe other teams are banging their trash can.
Maybe we need to look at the run differential for that.
No, I'm telling you, I've looked at. I don't have it off the top of my head because I don't have my computer with me, but I looked at the major hitting categories, right? OPS, slugging, batting average, and home runs. Mm-hmm. And I looked at wins and losses. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they were a better team at home than on the road, but so is 90%. Half the league is better at home than they are on the road. But the difference between their batting statistics, home and on the road, in 17, negligible.
Team or individual? Because individual is a difference.
For the team.
Well, I'm talking individual. I mean, individual.
Did they only bang the drum for 2 guys?
No, go look at individual stats. I think that's where you'll see the big difference.
But what does that mean?
What do you mean, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Because there's going to be guys that are worse. So does that mean does that mean they didn't bang the trash can for one guy, but they did for the other?
There's players that probably aren't really 320 hitters that are more 290 hitters, and that's a big difference at home and wherever the splits.
It is, but again, you see those splits across the league in certain players, and you see the splits the other way. Again, if you look at the population of baseball players in general, I would dare to say 75% of all baseball players hit better at home than they do on the road.
Yeah,
that's just the nature of it. And so, you're looking at that 75%, and you're telling me that the Astros have more individuals at the top end of that population than at the bottom, or it's not sprinkled throughout like everyone else. I mean, there's no telling. But then you're telling me that they really use the garbage can thing for 3 players. Why for those 3 and not for all 9?
Oh, no, I think they used it for all of them.
No, they did. That's my point. They did. So the fact that one guy has a higher batting average at home than he does on the road by a significant amount, well, then why doesn't the other guy? And there's probably a guy that has the opposite. What? So what happened with him? Did he not? Was he more hard of hearing? Couldn't hear the trash can? I mean, what? Did they not bang the trash can for him?
Well, now we may want to look at
guys, I know this is a big advantage, and that guy over there is doing great with it, but please don't use it for me. It distracts me. It sounds a bit like a bomb. It makes me want to go for cover.
Yeah, I don't... There's got to be... I bet between the other 29 Major League Baseball teams, there's probably plenty of jokes like that going on.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right? I would love to be in some of those clubhouses. Did you see AJ Hinch's interview?
Yeah.
Did you? I didn't watch it. I didn't care to watch it all because what can you possibly say? I mean, you fucking knew about it.
I think right? I think AJ is making a mistake. Look.
Wait, mistake of
not coming completely clean.
Hold on. Baseball wants you to know what baseball only wants you to know right now. And it's
that may be.
And this is where I got a problem, bro. This is scripted. His answers.
Oh yeah, his interview is scripted.
Sure. Tom Verducci said these are the questions I'm going to ask, and baseball probably said this. Maybe not all of it, but it.
But here's the thing.
Baseball just wants you to know what they want you to know right now.
But here's the thing. He can't. Well, he could. I don't know AJ Hinch personally, but everyone knows the best course of action for him is to come clean. Admit it. Mm-hmm. Look, he's been suspended for a year. Baseball's not going to suspend him for more if he tells the truth, right? Or if he just says, I knew about it, I didn't do enough, and I got caught. He doesn't have to go into the nitty-gritty details of how he did it. So he's already been suspended for a year. He's not going to get suspended for more. He already got fired from the best job he'll ever have. One of the best jobs he'll ever have, right? There may be another job closer to home that, like me, I don't know, maybe he's a California guy and being the Dodgers manager would be better. I don't know, whatever. But he got fired from one of the best jobs in the league, right? How much worse is it going to get? The only thing that could make it worse is him not having a job in 2021, 2022, 23, 24, 25, blackballed, right? Forevermore.
There's no way a team would do that. I would guess.
But here's the thing. If he doesn't come clean, that may happen to him.
Right.
If he comes clean, look, this is America. The land of opportunity. The land of second chances.
Andy Pettit?
Yeah, I mean...
Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah. Right? Come clean.
Yeah.
And if he comes clean, that guy will have a job in 2021.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because he is an incredibly good manager. And...
Or is he? Dun, dun, dun.
Look, and here's the other side of it, right? What happens when you don't come clean? When you want to fight the establishment, even though you're wrong, you've admitted to being wrong, etc., etc. 2 words, buddy. Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Right? That guy continues to fight that he didn't cheat, that he signed it because under duress or this, that, and he continues to deny, he continues to try to profit off of his name that he cheated, right? He continues to do it, and continues to sit on the outside looking in. And AJ Hinch may end up in the same place if he doesn't just come clean. Now, I'll tell you what I'm really curious about. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Cora. They still haven't said anything about the Red Sox.
Yeah. Which is why I think you're hearing all these players, come out and cry because they see that the Astros aren't owning up to it. Like, everybody knows, right? Yeah. I mean, whatever. Even if, look, if you stole $1 or you stole $1 million, you still stole.
I
so
agree.
however big this cheating scandal is,
I
right?
agree with you completely.
To each individual, it's still cheating. Okay, they took it a little extreme, and I think that's where baseball, the players and the fans, have a problem. Right? Just come out and say it. Just come out and say it.
I think the Astros. I don't know when pitchers and catchers report for the Astros, but I think the first day that Dusty Baker goes out to the field in front of every single reporter out there, he should tell them this is what happened. Well, he can't really say because he doesn't know.
He shouldn't have to say.
He shouldn't have to say it, but someone should have to come out, and someone should come out. But someone should come out, admit to it all, and say, we apologize to the fans and to baseball, and we're going to move on, and we're going to play this 2020 season. And they're going to take a beating on the road.
Yeah.
But
either way,
you got to get it over with. The silence from Altuve, Correa, Bregman,
right?
The big stars of the game. Springer, there's a very clear at bat with Springer that's been floated around out there.
Gatis.
Well, but the guy that, I've seen the clip of Springer's at bat where he hits a home run, he lays off a pitch and then hits a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those guys, those guys, actually, and you know what? It might not even take all of them. One of those big names comes out and says, we did it, we cheated.
I was going to say,
sorry,
for the sake of,
we're going to move on.
Of having to grind through a 162 game season, they almost have to, right? Just to kind of, just get rid of it on the front end, right? Don't let it go into the All-Star break because they're going to get questions. If they go on a 15-game win streak
or a 15-game losing streak,
and they, right,
it doesn't matter
where they're averaging 2 runs, or if they're averaging 7 runs on a win streak,
it does not matter. It does not matter how they perform at the plate.
No.
They will get criticized and questioned. If they do great, they're going to get questions about how are they still cheating. If they do poorly, they'll say, see, they cheated. They don't deserve that World Series. People will continue to bring it up if they don't address it first. And that's where I think the Astros have really screwed up. And I blame Crane because, look, you got the gift from MLB of not getting more of a fine and not getting suspended yourself.
Yeah.
You need to come out now and take that beating like a man and help your team out. From the article that I read in the Wall Street Journal, there's no way in hell he didn't know about it. There's no way in hell. You're going to tell me.
Well, didn't a letter get sent to them saying, "Hey, don't do this anymore"?
Yeah. He knew about the letter, and he knew they had a program called Codebreaker. Did you hear?
I heard about it. Right? I didn't read into it.
This intern downloaded mounds of data into an Excel spreadsheet and then ran a formula to figure out every team's sign so that then they could use it the next time they faced that particular catcher-pitcher combination or that particular catcher. Right? They were figuring out how each team was running their signals.
Wow. Such a smart guy.
Yeah. Well, he's still with the Astros. He was an intern back then. He was putting data into a spreadsheet. I mean, it wasn't rocket science. But anyway, so then the problem became Alex Cora said, or somebody, right? I'm saying Alex Cora because I'm thinking he's the one. But someone said, hey, what if we could use this live? What if we get the feed from the center field camera during the game? And that's how they were doing it. So, but here's the thing. There's quotes from guys within the Astros organization talking about Luhnow going into the video booth and saying, hey guys, how's the code breaking going? How's code breakers working tonight?
I think he was the ringleader, not Cora.
Luhnow? I don't think so. I don't think he was the ring. Well, it's hard to say.
Maybe co-ringleader. He was. I think he was very involved.
Here's the thing. That intern, it depends on who that intern worked for, right? Yeah. If that intern worked in the back offices, then Luhnow had to know. And Luhnow had to push that to Hinch, and Hinch had to push it down, right? If he worked with the baseball staff strictly, then he brought it to
Cora, maybe?
To Hinch, or maybe if he didn't feel comfortable with Hinch, he brought it to Cora. Cora said, and Cora did it, and Hinch was like, well, yeah, I don't know if she should do this or not, but whatever. I don't care. I just want to manage, So... And if Luhnow knew to the point that he was walking into the video room asking how it was going, then Crane had to know.
Yeah.
That's not one of those little things that you just kind of don't mention to your boss. It's not like you just, we got a new pencil supplier and I forgot to mention it. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the Astros really, I think they've dug themselves in a hole and they're not doing anything to really get out of that hole. Make a little bit of progress towards doing the right thing, right?
But here's the thing, I'm not surprised because look at the way they handled the assistant GM who was making those comments towards women about Osuna, right? What was the first thing they did? The first thing they did, they came out and said, that's not true.
Right.
And then it got corroborated by 10 other people and they're like, yeah, well, we fired him.
Right.
So there's a culture of cover up in that organization that needs to be changed, and that comes from the top.
Right.
And maybe the next guy that comes in the next GM will start to change that culture, but the guy from the Rays.
Oh, that's their GM, right? I was about to ask. Okay,
so maybe that'll start to change the culture, but for now, it doesn't look like it.
Well, some pitchers and catchers reported today.
I can't wait.
So baseball is definitely upon us.
Right around the corner.
What else do we got? Let us know if you want to talk some sports with us. Scandals. XFL.
If you know
UFC.
All the rule differences between the XFL or the XLF, as I like to call
that's
it,
right,
and the NFL, let us know because I still don't know them all.
I don't know them all. I'm sure there's.
I think there's only like 5 or 6.
No, and I think one of them is a you have to have at least one trick play or at least one lateral pass, like a flea flicker, one time a game, some shit like that. Yeah, which I actually happened to see one in the 5 minutes that I watched, so that was pretty cool. Went for a touchdown too.
Did it really?
Yeah, it was the first game on Saturday.
Oh, it wasn't the Houston game? It's not what got that guy fired?
Oh no, the Roughnecks. That's a cool name, the Houston Roughnecks.
Yeah, well, because there is such a thing as a roughneck, right?
I mean, it should have been Rednecks, but
there's no such thing as Guardians in New York.
No,
or Defenders walking around in D.C. There might be some Vipers in Tampa Bay.
There's a lot of FBI, so, DC Defenders, right?
No,
FBI,
that doesn't really work for me.
The White House, no? Okay.
Anyway. You want to wrap this thing up?
Let's wrap this puppy up.
Alrighty. As always, folks, you can catch our podcast on YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, Podbean, whatever podcast platform you choose. to listen and or watch your...
Did the Dukies cover?
I don't think so. It was close.
It was, right? I was peeking at your phone.
It was 68-65 with 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
So
follow me on Twitter at BrokenGaucho1
if you
for some
want
hot picks.
If you want Alex's...
when I say hot picks, I don't mean hot picks of myself. You don't get those. You got to pay for those. But I'll give you some gambling picks for free.
There are no hot picks of you fool. Ooh, it ended up being 5.
Woo!
Boy, you sweat that one, huh?
I did. Now I need your team to lose, and I'll be 1 behind.
Who did I pick?
I have no idea. I watched 3 basketball college games at night now.
And it's our picks.
And it's our... Well, I don't watch them. I
track.
Yeah, I track.
Keep your eye
refresh. I got 3 tabs open. Refresh.
I noticed sometimes you send the spreadsheet. Like usually you send it in the morning.
Right.
Sometimes you send it the day of, and I'm like,
well, no,
is he sitting there watching the games?
Yes. I
Yes.
really am. And I didn't want to feel like a nurse. That's why I've been doing it in the morning. But like on,
I don't want the guys to think I'm a dork.
But on Saturdays, the games finish a little earlier, so you know.
I'm gonna start picking. Next Saturday. I'm picking the game.
The late game
in Hawaii.
The UCLA Hawaii game or some shit.
That's right. Hawaii against Cal State Northridge or some shit. Anyway, you can email the show positivesports10@gmail.com. positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get his picks, you can do so on Twitter at BrooklynGaucho1. I don't give out my picks because I don't make them until like the end of the day almost when I remember because I usually forget. But maybe I'll start posting them. I don't know. But you can follow me on Twitter at eMontana21. Man, this has been a great episode. I've had a lot of fun talking UFC, XFL, XLF.
A little bit of everything.
MLB. We talked about... Well, I guess those things are actually going on, but the one big thing that's going on is the NBA. We didn't talk about that, but whatever.
That's okay. We'll get to it. All-Star break is coming up, and maybe
there'll be another podcast coming on Monday of next week or Tuesday by the time you get it. Right? So we do this every week.
That's it.
It won't be too long before.
Here.
We'll be here.
We're here.
We're here.
And we'll be there when you're watching us while we're here.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
So... I'll finish this off the way I always do, folks. Ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.